Hey everybody. Today I'm really excited to present my project on the food and culture of Canada. My name is Chris Worcester, and through this presentation, we're going to explore Canada's diverse food traditions, practices, and also influences. So let's get started. To start, Canada is located in North America and stretches from the Atlantic Ocean in the east to the Pacific Ocean in the west, and then the Arctic Ocean is in the north. It's the second largest country in the world by land area, and it shares its southern borders with the United States, which is the longest international border in the world. Canada is divided into 10 provinces and 3 territories, um, which each have unique food cultures. For example, Quebec has a strong French influence, while British Columbia often incorporates a lot of Asian flavors. Um, and Canada's multicultural identity, I think, plays a huge role in shaping its food culture. And so, Canada's food practices are as diverse as its people. And when I say that, I want to start with the food preparation techniques. Many traditional methods come from indigenous communities, and this includes smoking, curing, and fire roasting. Um, These kinds of methods have been passed down for generations and are still used today in dishes like smoked salmon. Um, Next, the typical Canadian meal schedule is 3 meals a day, similar to what we're used to in the United States. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's the norm, with dinner being the largest meal, and that's usually eaten around 6 or 7 p.m. And there's religious influences that also play a role in the food practices. You have Jewish communities that follow kosher dietary rules, while Muslim Canadians may eat halal food. Um, then there's Catholic traditions like abstaining from meat on Fridays during Lent, which also influences meal choices. Um, and finally, I just want to talk about some common foods and beverages. Canada is known for maple syrup, of course, we all know, um, often used in breakfasts and desserts. Poutine as well, a combination of fries, cheese curds, and gravy. And this is one of the most iconic dishes that Canada has, I believe. There's also bannock, a type of bread, which has indigenous roots, and beverages like coffee, wine, and beer are also widely enjoyed across the country. So now, when we talk about Canada's dietary practices, this includes both healthy and unhealthy aspects. On the healthy side, there are an emphasis on fresh seasonal produce, especially in areas like British Columbia. Seafood, which is rich in omega 3s, fatty acids. It's a staple in coastal regions, which contributes to heart health, of course. However, like a lot of other countries, especially the United States, Canada is also famous for its high calorie comfort foods. Um, Poutine, for example, is a delicious but heavy in fat and sodium. Um, there's butter tarts, which is a sugary dessert, and other sweet treats can contribute to overconsumption of sugar in Canada. And like in many countries, balancing traditional favorites with a healthy diet is an ongoing challenge, as we all know. When it comes to fast food, um, there's a significant presence in Canada, but this is influenced by the country's focus on local ingredients. So, popular fast food chains would include Tim Hortons, which is known for its coffee, donuts, and sandwiches. But then you have places like McDonald's, Subway, and KFC, which are very popular in the United States as well. But they often offer regional menu items that reflect Canada's taste. So, for an example, McDonald's Canada serves items like the McLobster roll in coastal regions. Um, and compared to the US, portion sizes in Canada are generally smaller. And I would say in Europe in general, portion sizes um, in fast food restaurants and even normal restaurants are much smaller than they would be in the United States. And there's also a noticeable trend toward healthier options with many fast food restaurants offering vegetarian or vegan choices. So overall, Canada's fast food culture mirrors that of the United States, but I think they have a bit more emphasis on local flavor and slightly healthier options. And Canada has some truly unique dishes that highlight its culinary identity. So poutine, which we talked about, is probably the most famous. It's a comfort food made from fries topped with cheese curds and smothered in gravy. Another thing we already talked about was the popular dish that's butter tarts, which are sweet pastries filled with a buttery, sugary filling. Um, and then, excuse my pronunciation here, but Nanaimo bars. They are a no-bake dessert made with three layers. Bottom layer being a graham cracker base, and then in the middle you have a custard flavored butter icing, um, and then on top you're gonna have a chocolate topping. And then we have a tourtière, which is a French Canadian meat pie, and it is especially popular during the holiday seasons, which is great because we're just getting to the holiday season right now. But these dishes showcase the rich diversity and creativity of the Canadian cuisine. And so, food in Canada reflects the country's multicultural identity, and meals are a way of bringing people together. Much like um, in the US, food often plays a key role in cultural festivals. So, for example, Thanksgiving and Canada Day are celebrated with large meals shared with family and friends. Indigenous communities have their own food traditions that are deeply tied to their history and way of life. Sharing meals in Canada is more than just eating, it's about community and celebrating diversity, which is a very beautiful thing. The country's food culture is a perfect example of how different influences can come together to create something that is truly unique and cool. And then finally, here are the references I used for this presentation. I gathered a lot of information from several reliable sources, including the Canada Guide um, and Consumer for Traditional Canadian Foods, as well as Made in CA for fast food statistics and IBIS World for insights into the fast food industry. And these sources provide a comprehensive look into Canada's food culture. And that's all I have for you guys. I had a fun time researching Canada and how food is impacted by culture and how culture is impacted by food. And I hope you guys had a good time listening to my presentation. And I appreciate it. Have a good one.